twilight lies gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fights. Oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran fast, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, traitors that star-spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land of the free, and the home of the brave. Because we are the brave. Yes, we are the brave. We'll fight you in the name of the brave. We are the US of A. For those unaware, that flag is still there. It's our future to save. This land of the brave, the US of A. Oh, traitors that star-spangled banner, yeah, wave for the land of the free, and the home of the
Hey, this is Garrett Smithley, driving the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
When you're ready,
ServPro, how can we help?
help gets there faster. The cleanup specialists at 1-800-SERVPRO and ServPro.com. Helping make fire and water damage like it never even happened.
How you doing? You say.
Welcome, race fans, to the Domino's TYJ Racing Top Shelf Cup Series live on All Pro Broadcasting tonight. We come to you live here at Dover International Speedway for the final race in round number 1 for these fabulous drivers. Joining me in the booth tonight is my good friend, 11-time race winner in 2017. Yes, I did say 11 times. James Ross, how you doing tonight, James?
Good, Robert. How are you?
I'm just doing wonderful. Excited to be here. Excited to see what these guys can do on this fast high bank 1 mile concrete oval. If you want to call it an oval. James, you've driven this track many times. It's a tough track. These guys have got some interesting track conditions from what I understand. In happy hour, the track has taken a lot of rubber and it is very, very tight. Real quick, what are you expecting as far as the drivers in this track? And then we're going to go over the chase grid here in just a second.
Sure. Well, I would talk about the first thing. I mean, they call this place the Concrete Kingdom for a reason. It's the only place we run on that's concrete. It does take a lot of rubber. Track's going to change a whole lot during the race. Preferred line early on should be right down against that white line, almost hooking that white line to make the car work. And then you'll see later on in the race as it takes rubber, whoever goes up first and finds a little more grip up there might find themselves in an advantageous situation.
Yeah, it's going to be real interesting to see how these drivers handle this track. But fans, we appreciate you joining us. We're definitely going to talk about the free pizza giveaway here in just a few minutes. But we want to talk about the chase grid, James. We've got 20 drivers that started this championship chase here at Domino's TYJ Racing in the Top Shelf Cup Series. This is the second and final race of the first round. So after tonight, James and fans, 4 drivers will be eliminated. We'll be down to 16 drivers. And as I'm looking at this grid right now, it looks like Curtis Young in that number 94. He is exactly tied with Jeremy Crandall in the 73 and it is actually tied with Jack Watts. All 3 of those guys make out the last 3 of the 16 that will transfer over if the race ended before it even started. But obviously we got a whole race to go through. So the guys on the outside looking in, hoping something will happen, hoping they can do something, to get a good finish would be the 15 of Jeff Martin. He's 1 point out. Behind him, the 02 of Mitchell Reeves. He's 3 points out. The number 10 of Nick Reynolds, is 5 points out. And Jason Jacoby, I understand, has been having issues and will not be racing as far as I know tonight. So those 3 bottom guys, they are going to be fighting. And it's really extremely exciting here because if you look, you've got 3 drivers that are in tied at 0 and 3 drivers below only 5 points out. So this could get mixed up pretty quick and in a hurry, James. What do you think?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you've got literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 people within 15 points. So you can see some big swings here. Obviously, Jason Jacoby with his issues, he won't factor into this. But, the 3 that are out right now are 1, 3, and 5 points out. So, and this place has a lot of action here. You got to watch for the wrecks. You got to watch for the issues out there. Single issue can take somebody out of that. So should be real interesting. And that grid situation, the playoff situation, who moves on to that next round will be changing all night long. So hang on to your seats, people. It's going to be a heck of a ride.
Yeah, I tell you what, James, we set this up so that it would be a heck of a ride, not only for the fans to watch an incredible chase, but also for the drivers to not know what's going to hit them next. The first race was 2 weeks ago at Talladega, and yes, a lot of drivers got hit right between the eyeballs, right in the mouth with the incidents that happened at Talladega. Luckily for David Washington, he won that race. He is the only driver so far that has transferred over to the second round. But these other drivers are basically, like you said, pretty close together. They're going to be fighting for every inch on this track. And unfortunately, as they also call this track the Monster Mile, Miles the Monster is going to reach out. He is going to bite a few folks. And there are going to be some hurt feelings tonight when this race is over. I think that's going to be a fact, James.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Well, it makes it tough, stressful on the drivers, makes it entertaining for you fans out here. So, just stay tuned. Let's see what happens here. Like you say, David Washington is the only one who's safe right now at this point. He's already through to the next round. Any of these guys start thinking about Kansas or Chicago, they're going to make a severe mistake. This place will jump up and bite you in a hurry.
Yeah, I tell you right now, it looks like his qualifying is coming to an end. We're going to talk to our good friend, Josh Bonwell. Looks like you have got the pole position with a 21.476. You almost identically matched your fastest practice time. What are you expecting from this track? How does it feel to you tonight, Josh?
Track feels pretty good. I'm expecting a top 3, hopefully a win here. You know, we can maybe get something done.
Yes, Josh, you are definitely looking pretty good in the points. As I say that, you're 12 to the good before the green flag. So obviously, you got to keep your car clean. You got to keep it out of the wall, and you got to have a little bit of luck, Josh. Hopefully, nobody will have an incident in front of you you get collected into, because this track, the speeds are so fast, it's hard to see around the corners. I wish you a lot of luck, good luck, and hopefully we can win that free pizza for your mom tonight.
Thanks, Robert.
Yeah, thank you, Josh. Like I said, fans, go ahead, James. If you will start on the starting grid, going down the top 10, I'll go down top 12, I'll go the final 12.
Sure. Well, starting on the pole, we have the 56 of John Sponwell. To his outside, in second, will be the 98 of David Washington. Starting third is the 03 of Dylan Jones. Starting fourth will be the 58 of William E. Moore. Starting fifth is Andrew W. Payne in the 93 car. William Roberts will be starting sixth in the 12. The 42 of Tanner Tallarico will start in the 7th position. The 99 of Colton Salick will be starting 8th. Ryan A. Hill in the 55 starts 9th, and Curtis Young in the 94 will be starting 10th. Gary Sexton will be starting 11th in the number 17 machine, and Nick Reynolds in the number 10 will be starting 12th.
Yeah, thank you so much, James. In 13th, we've got Kyle Kammer in that number 88 starting 13th. 14th, we got Mitchell Reeves in that 02. We talked about him earlier there. James, he has got to have a great run tonight, as he is right now 3 points out before the green flag comes down. We've also got Buzz Moore in that 15th position in the number 11. Starting 16th, we have Jason Cardwell. He's in that number 18. And the following drivers did not take a qualifying time. They're going to try to stay in the back and stay out of trouble. That would include the 81 of Shane Parrish, Eric Stanford in the 24, Mark Jackson in the 3, Brandon Cruz Montevice in the 54, Jack Watts 66, William Davis in the 7, Tim B. Cox in the 19, Jeff T. Martin in the 014, and Jeremy Crandall in the 73. So James, we're getting ready. These guys are making sure their belts are tight, and fans will give you all the details on how to win that free large pizza here in just a few minutes. I'll let you call the start of the race, James.
Absolutely. Well, we're watching. They're just coming around now, and excuse me for a second. I kind of lost my point of view here. We're going to get this straightened out again, but they're just coming down in between 3 and 4 right now. Getting ready to take the green here. Lights are out on the pace car. It pulls down. Josh Bonwell's on the loud pedal. He jumps out to a huge advantage. Man, he got on that early. Josh Bonwell is clear by about 4 cars going into turn 1. David Washington, Dylan Jones, William E. Moore, and Andrew W. Payne right now are your top 5, as we've got a challenge for the 5th position right now.
Yeah, it looks like that number 93 of Andrew Payne, like you said, is working on the inside of the 58 of William Moore, and on the underside of him, looks like the number 12 of William Roberts Jr. is making a move. So looks like the 58 is losing quite a few positions. I'm not sure if he's up in that marble area. The track should be pretty clean, but he might just be moving to the back on purpose.
Yeah, that looked to me like a classic move of going to the back, hopefully trying to avoid an early wreck here. But we'll keep an eye on him. Maybe there's an issue with that car as this race continues.
Yeah, another thing to keep in mind, how hard are these drivers going to drive these first, say, 20, 30 laps of this first run? Or are they going to try to conserve some tire for later in this run? A lot of times fans do have long green flag runs. So it's going to be really interesting, not only see who's the fast driver on brand new tires, but which driver can use strategy and conserve some tire and be around at the end of a long green flag run, which we hope and expect we'll have.
Right, and while you were talking there, Robert, David Washington did get around the 56 of Josh Bonwell for the top spot. I see he seems to be running just a tick higher in some of these corners. Could be some of that rubber is affecting the line already.
Yeah, like I said, fans, a lot of rubber has already been put down on this track. It has been baking in the sun all afternoon. So these guys are going to have to manhandle their cars, and they're going to be flying around here at a ridiculous speed, to be honest with you, upwards of about 175, 180, diving off into the corners and only slowing down at about 160. So these guys are really going to have to manhandle the cars, manage their tires, give each other room, and be around at the end. That's the secret.
Yeah, I'm taking a look, and these leaders are actually catching. Mark Jackson is well off the back of the pack. I don't know if he missed the start or if he might have touched the wall there, but they are closing in on him quick. He's about halfway through 1 and 2, and they just entered 1 now.
Yeah, unfortunate for Mark, I heard through team communications they were having some issues with his headset, and obviously Domino's CYJ would not let him get on track until they got that cleared up so he could hear his competitors, they could hear him. So, yeah, he's going to have to do a lot of work to keep from going lap down, but it is early, James. If he does go lap down, he will be in that lucky dog position. And real quick, fans, I do want to remind you, you are watching the CCR 200 live on All Pro Broadcasting. Make sure you click that subscribe button. That way you will always get the alerts for the free pizza giveaway. And while we're under green, we're going to go over that real quick, fans, how you can win that free pizza. We had another winner last night. It is real simple. This race is 200 laps, fans. So by halfway, which is lap 100, the first fan to accurately predict the winner of this race will win that large free 3-topping Domino's pizza from any store in America or Canada. But don't make a pick yet. You don't want to pick a driver now. Wait 30 laps, pick another driver, 30 laps after that, because I can only honor one pick. So if you pick 3 drivers, I can't honor any of them. So take your time, be smart, pick who you think's going to win. You don't have to pick it right now. And you can do that by texting 919-883-7497. Or if you're watching on your device, you can text I picked this driver in the live chat. We monitor both sources, and we will give all the updates at the end of the race as soon as the interviews are over as to who wins that free pizza. And we do wish you a lot of luck.
Absolutely. Well, watching things get settled out here. You've got right now, you got David Washington out by about 4/10 over Josh Bonwell. He's got about, and a yellow's out. We have an incident.
You give us just a second, fans, to get the replay pulled up.
Looked like Mark Jackson might have been involved in that one.
Yeah, we were just talking about Mark in that number 3. I think he had a little bit of issue. We're going to pull back and see exactly what happened to him. Looks like as he's coming out of the corner, he just gets loose. He overcorrects it right before the start finish line. Goes head into the fence, locks it down, hits the inside fence. Fortunately for all the other drivers, he was able to pull that car off of the track onto the apron. Heavy damage to that number 3. Looks like he's going to be behind the wall probably for the end of the night. They're going to work on that car, see if they can't maybe get a new radiator put in there. But he has a beautiful paint job on that car tonight. But unfortunately, it looks like Mark Jackson in that America Budweiser number 3 is it's going to be out of the race here for quite a while. It looks like right now they are making the decision quickly to go ahead and pull it behind the wall. So that is our first casualty there, James and fans, that Miles the Monster has taken. And what's happening on pit road?
Right now, we've got pretty much our entire field is pitting. I think it looks like Mitchell Reeves has decided to stay out on track, probably to lead a lap here. But yeah, there's no other adventurous souls. They're all coming down pit road now.
Well, this is the time after about 13 laps. I'm guessing these guys are going to at least take 2 tires, maybe 4 tires. You have to let me know what you see. I am actually watching Shane Parrish in that number 81 as he pulls into his pit stall. The right side tires are going up. The first can of Sunoco Racing Fuel, and that's all they're going to need on fuel probably. Looks like he's actually going to go ahead and take left side tires. So I'm guessing most of these drivers are going to take the opportunity to go ahead and get 4 fresh Goodyear tires.
Yeah, it looks like everyone took 4 except for the 10 of Nick Reynolds. I believe he took 2 tires, Robert, to try and gain some track position here.
Yep, that would not be a bad choice to make. At least early in the race, you never know what your car's going to do on just 2 tires until you actually try it out. And it will know early if it's a good move, a smart move, or not a very smart move.
Well, I tell you, the guy that probably is a little scared here is Mitchell Reeves. Is he's the only one out here? As I say that, he's pitting now. But I was going to say he's the only car out there with no tires. He was probably hoping a few more would stay out to gain track position with him. But yeah, he's making a wise move. Don't put yourself in a bad position early in the race. Come in and get your tires and fuel, and live the race a few more laps.
That's absolutely correct, James. And I know Mitchell Reeves is a very smart, talented driver. He does some real-world racing and is very good at that as well. And he, like I said, the race started, he was 3 points below the cut line. So he just stayed out for one lap. He got a bonus point, which is a smart move, coming down pit road, getting his 4 fresh Goodyear Eagle tires. So he'll at least have that 1 point that he didn't have before. And you never know, that could end up helping him make it to advance to the next round, to qualify in that group of 16 that will be going on to our next 2 races for the chase. The second round, Kansas and Chicago, which will be in 2 weeks and 4 weeks respectively.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we got 185 laps left in this one. I assure you that's not going to be the only caution we see today. So, yeah, wise move to get your tires. He got his point. He did what he needed to do. Now, it's time to settle in and get down to the business of getting back to the front. He's certainly going to have enough opportunity here. As I say that, Nick Reynolds is now pulled off as well. It looks like he's coming into it. Maybe he thought better of his 2-tire strategy.
Yeah, and I think he might have just led 1 lap himself. And he was coming into the race 5 points below the cut line, so he got a bonus point for leading the lap. I tell you what, these guys are proving that they can be smart as well as talented. Both those drivers are going to have a little bit of advantage as far as getting that bonus point, but they're going to be starting way, way, way in the back of this field. And James, we do have a long ways to go, so getting the bonus point early, starting in the back, is probably not too bad of an idea.
Well, it can be a blessing or a curse, Robert. I mean, it all depends. If an incident happens out here, if it happens well in front of you, it gives you time to slow down. If it happens right in front of you, well, you know, then you second guess yourself. So Dover is a place that'll anything can happen at any place on the track at any time. So you know, I guess they thought they'd grab their point now and hopefully try and stay out of trouble. I'm sure that's what most of these guys who are on the cut line there are definitely trying to do, at least early here in this race.
Yes, sir, James. And fans, we're going to bring you a new special feature. We're going to be riding on board with the leader, the number 98 of Dave Washington, for about 3 laps around this fast track. So we're going to be quiet up here in the booth and let you get a bird's eye view of what this looks like as the pace car is in and David Washington takes off. Enjoy this, fans.
Green flag, green flag.
Thank you, fans. We hope you enjoy that. That's exactly what it looks like coming out of the windshield in the number 98 Aegis Motorsports All-Pro Broadcasting of Dave Washington. And that's where you want to be, in the lead. You can see what's happening in front of you. You don't really have to worry about guys right behind you. He's got plenty of speed in that number 98 tonight. And James, I know you're a good friend of Dave's. What do you think he is planning for the rest of this race to stay out front, stay out of trouble, and win a second race in a row?
Well, you just said it right there. It's going to be keep that car out front, keep out of trouble. You know, clear track ahead with a gap behind. I'm sure that's what he's going to try and maintain. Dave's the best at managing his tires and getting more out of them later in the run. He's certainly taught me a lot about that. You know, we spent a lot of time working together, but Yeah, so I think that's going to be his plan, is keep this thing up front all night long. The question is, when we start getting some of these shorter runs with cautions, will people do a 2-tire or no tire or stay out strategy and throw a monkey wrench into that whole strategy for them?
That definitely could happen, and while we're under green, we're going to take you through the field real quick. James, I'm going to go over these drivers and some of their great-looking paint jobs. And as I go through this first top 10, if you hear me talk about somebody that's made a big move up, don't hesitate to interrupt me. We're going to talk about Dave Washington and that number 98. All-Pro Broadcasting Ford Aegis-sponsored Fusion, looking good. Behind him, we have the pole sitter, Josh Bonwell. He is in that Armor All wheel-protected Ford Fusion, the number 56. We know his mom is watching. She's always pulling for him. She always picks her son. I would not blame her at all for that free pizza. Hopefully he'll get the win tonight, and she'll be able to enjoy that pizza, maybe even share some with her son. He's running in second. In third, we have Andrew W. Payne. He's in that beautiful Unleashed Racing pink number 93 Chevy SS. Motor Sport Simulation Group is what Unleashed Racing is. He's having a great move up to the third position. Behind him, we have Tanner Talrico in that number 42 Fox Shocks Chevy SS. He's having a good run in fourth. Ryan A. Hill. You always find Ryan somewhere in the top 5 unless he's made a mistake on pit road, which I think happened twice last race at Talladega. He's in that Phantom Armament number 55 Chevrolet SS. He's looking for a great finish again tonight. He's up in 5th. Back in 6th, we have Credit One Bank number 12 Chevy SS of William Roberts Jr. He's got a beautiful blue car there, looking good, nice and clean, not a scratch on it from what I can tell there, James. Running in 7th, we have the Chef Andy's Lobster Rolls. Ford Fusion, the 03 of Dylan C. Jones. He is another teammate on that powerful Aegis Motorsports team. He's running in the 7th position, having a great run. Behind him, we have William E. Moore. He's in that Air Force number 58 Ford Fusion. He's running in 9th. And running in 10th, the guy who's got to have a good run tonight, Curtis Young. He's in that Go Fast Energy Drink Ford Fusion number 94. He started the race, like I said before, right on the cut line at 0. So he's got to have a good finish here. He can't afford for anything to go wrong if he wants to advance to the next round. And while we're staying green, we're going back to some of these guys with some great-looking paint jobs. We have Colton Selleck in the number 99 Chevy SS. Elif Brothers Roofing, as he is all over the back bumper of the 94. Back in 11th, we have CCR. Gary Sexton, that's Cross Continent Racing, sponsored this race, the Cross Continent Racing 200. He's in that beautiful Toyota Camry number 17, and he's getting some pressure on the inside. It looks like from his teammate William Davis in that number 7, who's in third trying to make the pass.
That's actually Buzz Moore in
yeah, sorry about that.
tonight.
Yeah, my bad on that. And then Tim B. Cox is another CCR machine, the Toyota Camry number 19. He's up to 14th. Jeff T. Martin in that Turner Lawn Care Toyota Camry, the 014. He's up to 15th. Behind him, we have Shane Parrish in that number 81 Servpro Ford Fusion. If I'm not mistaken, he's another member of that very powerful Aegis Motorsports Racing Group. He's back in 16th. Behind him, we have Mitchell Reeves, who did stay out and get that bonus point. Looked like he's in that 02 Chevy SS. He's trying to make his way up forward, up to 17th after that pit stop in the back. 18th, we have Kyle Cameron at Interstate All Battery Center Chevy SS number 88. He's in 18th. 19th, Mick Reynolds. He also stayed out and got that one bonus point. He's in that Southeast Motorsports number 10 Chevy SS, looking good to 19th. And rounding out the top 20, we have Mountain Monsters Toyota Camry 18 of Jason Cardwell. He's having a good run as well. What else are you seeing on the track there, James?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just following some of the action here. Where did you leave off, Robert?
I finished up at 20. I figured I'd give myself and my voice a break and let you jump in here and let us know how the racing's going up front.
Sure. Well, I'll go through that. Oh, we have some action here.
right,
looks
man,
like on the front stretch. I got a car around here. Let's see if looks like the 014 of Jeff Martin might have been involved in that, and see if we can't get a replay pulled up.
Yeah, give us just a second, fans. It does look like the 014. We're just talking about him having some issues there. We'll see exactly what happened. It got the 014 turned around. Looks like as he was diving into the corner, we were also just talking about the 88. Or excuse me, my bad. The 81 of Shane Parrish in that Servpro. I'm going to take a look on board of the 81 and see exactly what was happening here. This track has already gained quite a bit of rubber. Coming off the corner there, it looks like the 81 Shane just moves up slightly, gets into the right rear of the 014 of Jeff T. Martin. Hopefully nobody else was involved. You see anybody else involved in that one?
No, I think it was just a 2-car event there. The 81 really doesn't look too much worse for wear, but the 014 definitely took the worst of that one. Man, we've got cars coming down pit lane right now.
All right, I'll let you cover the pit stops. I'll be back in just a minute.
Looking at them all pulling down right now. Looks like everybody's pretty much landed right on their marks here. Let's see, everybody seems to be taking 4. We got 1 2-tire taker here. William Davis has gained a lot of spots in the 7 car by taking 2. Looks like everyone else is taking 4. We'll get this all sorted out as they run around here under caution.
Yeah, thank you there, James. It looks like right now we're going to take our first real quick commercial break if we have time. I might have waited too late. We'll let that be up to our head chief in the camera trailer, Michael D'Amico. We got. Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to wait for next caution, if we have another caution for that, because we did kind of wait and get going on that on the replay and everything. So, James, what do you see happen up front as far as coming off the pit road, and who's up front in the lead?
Well, what I see up front is I see the 54, Brandon Cruz Monsiváis. He stayed out. Don't know if he's staying out here just to lead a lap or he's making a move for track position right now. They're doubling up right now for the start. They've got 1 to go. So it looks like he's going to be out there. So he'll be out there with no tires in front of all these hungry wolves behind him. Should be interesting to see how this works out.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I think he meant to get on pit road sooner, and it just closed a lot quicker than he was planning on. Although he is going to get a point for leading a lap here. And Brandon was actually looking good before the race started. He was 10 points to the good, but he's going to get 1 more point for leading that lap. And hopefully he can be out of the way when we do go back green here. And we're going to do something kind of interesting. We're going to do the same type of camera view that we did before, except this time we're going to be inside the cockpit. Give me just a second. Let's try to be inside the cockpit of Ryan Ahill on that 55 for this restart. About 4 or 5 cars back. See how that looks on the restart. If we can do that, that'd be an awesome view for about 3 laps. We'll be right along on board with the 55 Ryan Ahill.
All right, and as you're talking there, Brandon Cruz Monsiváis gets on the loud pedal first and pulls way down to the inside after start-finish. He's letting all these guys go by. He doesn't want any part of any problems here. David Washington has assumed your lead. He's closely followed right now by the 93 of Andrew W. Payne. Josh Bromwell in the 56. William Roberts in the 12. And Ryan A. Hill currently sitting in the 6th position.
Yeah, this on-board view of Ryan Ahill on that 55, fans, we're going to be quiet here and let you enjoy this for about 3 laps. See what it looks like behind a couple of cars. Fans, we appreciate your patience. I tell you what, watching this view as I'm sitting there being quiet gets me excited. If it doesn't get you excited, you might want to have another slice of your Domino's pizza, because I tell you what, having this on-board view that is hard to find anywhere else in iRacing that Michael D'Amico with All Pro Broadcasting puts on is just incredible. You get the view from later. Last restart we had, this restart on board of the 5th place car of Ryan A. Hill. I tell you what, watching these guys turn these steering wheels, it's hard to see all the input. You do see their tachometer when they're on the brake and on the gas. And these guys are having to manhandle these cars around this super fast high bank concrete monster mile oval, and it's really impressive and really exciting. It looks like up front we still have Dave Washington. I did see the 94 of Curtis Young hit around the 99 of Colton Salek. So for the most part, these guys are doing an excellent job, and this kind of makes me want to be behind the wheel of a car, which I'm going to do this weekend at some point. James, what about you?
Yeah, I'm just taking a look now. They got a good battle been going on for a couple of laps now between the 55 of Ryan A. Hill and the 58 of William E. Moore. They've been going back. William's been good enough to get his nose almost under a minute in the corner, but not quite good enough to get him coming off. This is a tough place to pass. Even if you get a nose under, with a car above you, it's hard to get that drive off. So that's why you see a lot of these cars singled out right now. Hopefully, as this place takes a little bit more rubber, guys will venture up, try that higher line. Maybe that'll open up some opportunities. But right now, they're pretty much single file all the way back through the field.
Yes, James, I just noticed the exact same thing. The number 56 had a great run. That would be Josh Bonwell on the 93 of Andrew W. Payne. He almost had his nose under there going into the corner, but he couldn't hold it. He couldn't get the drive off the corner like you said. He lost a couple of positions. The 12 right behind him of William Roberts Jr. just barely touched the wall coming off of turn 2. And I think that wall is going to have quite a few marks before this race is over.
Well, and here's a great battle if you can get a look at it. The 66 of Jack Watts and the 88 of Kyle Kamer. They've been going back and forth lap after lap. Jack's been underneath of Kyle. Kyle's had the drive coming off the corner. And you can see him for about 3 or 4 laps there where you can get under a guy, even seem to get the advantage mid-corner, but it's that drive coming off that kills you with a car up high.
Yes, and as those two guys battle, it's the number 73 of Jeremy Crandall. Sneak right up to him. Looks like Jeremy Crandall's in that 17th position with number 73. Try to get a quick look on his car tonight. He's got that Racing for a Cure. We are in October, fans. Breast cancer awareness. He's also got Charlie's Asphalt Maintenance as his primary sponsor, that beautiful number 73. Jeremy Crandall always brings some great paints to every single race he's part of. And he's somebody you're going to have to reckon with sooner or later. And I expect him to have a lap left before the race is over. And right now he's getting all kind of heat. It looks like from the 03 of Dylan C. Jones.
Absolutely. Well, Dylan's great at this track. He's one of these guys that'll come on late. One thing to note is William E. Roberts did get around the 56 of Josh Bonwell. He's moved up to 3rd, and he's challenging Andrew Payne for 2nd.
All right, man. Caution is out.
And we've
Caution is
got
out.
some kind of contact on the track here. I saw somebody go around coming into 1. Let's see if we can
like
get some eyeballs.
Looks like the 19 and 10B Cox fan. Give us just a second or two. We'll get this replay pulled up and see exactly what happened. Yeah, it looks like it's Tim is coming off the corner, and these tires have already got a lot of rubber to them. A lot of rubber. I've seen him coming off his tires. He gets loose. He's trying to overcorrect it, or trying to correct it, and actually, unfortunately, overcorrects. I'm trying to look. Right behind him was the 10 of Nick Reynolds. I don't see any contact at all. It just looks like the 19 got loose, corrected back into the outside wall.
Actually, he collected the 88 of Kyle Cameron. That Kyle tried to sneak around the outside, didn't quite make it.
Yes, he sure did.
Took a pretty good shot in the door, so door and towards the left rear corner. So hopefully he'll be all right. They can get that banged out. Tim wrecked that car from turn 4 all the way down to turn 1. He did everything he could to hold on to it, but
and he almost did hold on to it, but not quite. And fans, on that note, we are going to take our first real quick commercial break. You're watching the CCR 200 live on All Pro Broadcasting. We'll be right back with updates on what happened on pit road. Don't go anywhere.
Fast and start to power slide. We salute you with the big blocks 4 wide. Race fans, it's showtime.
Garrett Smithley, driver the number 0, JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
Welcome back, race fans, to the CCR 200 live on All Pro Broadcasting. James Ross, what you see on pit road? Looks like the 88 is still on pit road having damage repaired. From what I understand, the 19 is going to be pretty much done for tonight.
Yeah, I saw the 19 team packing up the toolbox and putting the covers over the tires. I think they're done for the day. 88 should be able to get repaired. What I did see on that sequence was the 73 of Jeremy Crandall. He did come down pit road, but drove straight through and came out and led a lap there. So Jeremy, the old crafty veteran, is picking up another point.
Yep, I knew he would do it sooner or later. Good for him. Looks like the lights are off on the pace car now. We're going to do one more time, riding in the cockpit, a bird's eye view as I call it. We're going to go a little bit further back and ride with the number 94 of Curtis Young. He's going to be restarting in 7th position. This should be a great show, fans. We're going to do this for about 3 or 4 laps. Enjoy this show as we're riding in the cockpit of the 94.
Green flag, green flag.
I tell you what, fans, I sure hope you enjoyed that. As you can tell, James was alluding to this early in the race, the way this track is with the amount of rubber on the track. It is so hard to get a clean pass made. The number 94 of Curtis Young, who we were just riding along with, he got a fender, even a door up to the side, the 42 of Captain Federico, but he could not complete that pass. A couple cars behind him, the 02 of Mitchell Reeves was able to pass the 17 of Gary Sexton because Gary knew he was coming. Gary lifted out of the throttle just for a second to give him the room to make the pass complete without any kind of contact, which was a smart move on both drivers' parts. But it's going to be hard for these guys to get around each other until maybe more rubber is laid down on the track later in this race.
Oh, absolutely. But look at those corners now as they're going in there. If we get a good shot here, you can see how black it's getting down in those corners. That's a whole lot of rubber going down, and this place is going to change all day long. I believe we started out, our track temperature was about 81 degrees at the start of the race. It's got to be considerably hotter than that, and these things are going to get slipping and sliding, and you're going to have to search all over for traction. So this is the time where this track's going to go through its first transition, probably go through 2 or 3 before the day is done.
Yeah, thank you so much, James. Again, fans, if you are tuning in late, you are watching the CCR 200 live on All Pro Broadcasting. And yes, we do give away free pizzas from Domino's. You did not read wrong. You are not lost. You have found the best racing on iRacing. In our opinion, thanks to Michael D'Amico with All Pro Broadcasting and all the great announcers and commentators we have in our crew, which includes James Ross here tonight with me, helping me out, which I definitely appreciate. And the way you can win that free pizza, fans, is real simple. You've got until lap 100, which is about 37 more laps to go, 36 more laps to go. The first fan to accurately predict the winner of this race by halfway, which tonight is lap 100, and only choose one driver. Don't choose 2 or 3, later in the race before you get to 100. Take your time, pick one driver. You can text 919-883-7497, or if you're watching on your device, you can say, I choose this driver to win. At the end of the race, we will update who won the free pizza if we have a winner, which most, while I'm looking at that, James, what are you seeing up front?
What I'm seeing up front now is seeing the 12 of William Roberts being the first car to keep pace with Dave Washington all day. He's sitting about 3/10 off of him. Seemed like he was getting run a few laps ago. So keep a close eye on the 98 and the 12. I think a battle's going to happen there real soon.
All right, and a quick update on the Chase Grid, fans. If you are tuning in late, we had 3 drivers tied exactly on the cut line when the race started. That would be the 66 of Jack Watts, the 73 of Jeremy Crandall, and the 94 of Curtis Young. Those 3 drivers right now, currently, we have Curtis Young running in that number 7 spots. So he is doing what he needs to do. We've also got the 66 of Jack Watts. He's back in 16th, which is right on the cut line. We're going to have 16 guys transfer, so he needs to pick up a few more positions before the end of this race to be safe and secure going into the next section. And Jeremy Crandall, who did stay out lead a lap, he's running back in 19th, which you can say 18th because he did pick up a lap for a point for leading a lap. But Jeremy's going to have a higher finish than where he's running right now, I think, to transfer over. Unfortunately, we have had one driver have some issues early in the race, the 15 of Jeff Martin, who was 1 point below the cutoff line. He has already had issues tonight. He is running right now as we speak. He's all the way 35 laps down. I think his night is over. Unfortunately, things are not looking good for him. Another driver, we have Mitchell Reeves in that 02. He is running in the 9th position. He actually started the race tonight, fans, 3 points below the cutoff line. So he's doing what he needs to do to transfer over to the next round. And then the other driver we have, Nick Reynolds in the 10. It looks like Nick is running in 12th position right now. Not really where he wants to be. He started out 5 points below the cutoff line. So he's going to have to do a little bit more work as well to guarantee himself a position in the, we'll call it the Sweet 16. It will be transferring over to the next round, James, which will be 2 weeks from tonight at Kansas and 2 weeks after that at Chicagoland.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And there's, a couple of guys there who run into trouble. Obviously, Jeff Martin, Mark Jackson, who was sitting 3rd in our points. He was the first car out tonight. He's going to get a 25th place finish. So he was 20 points clear of the cut, but that's going to make it real tight for him. He should still be okay. But something to take a look at. That could definitely shake up these standings going into the next round.
That is one thing I failed to mention, James. That's why I have smart guys like you helping me out every week or every other week. Whenever I can get you up here helping me out. Mark Jackson, like you said, he was 20 points to the good when the race started, and like you just said, he's going to finish 25th. So I think there's a good chance he will not make it to transfer over. I'm not sure. I'm not the best at math, but we'll know here shortly. But the battle on the track is heating up, fans, and you've got about 25 laps to get your pickup for that free pizza. Again, this is the CCR 200 live on All Pro Broadcasting. In just a minute, we're going to do a famous Domino's driver profile. Who's looking good for you, James? I'll see if I can't get some info on that driver.
Oh, sure. Well, right now, I'd say let's take a look at if you have the 03 of Dylan C. Jones.
Actually, I just heard some comments by our good driver, Gary Sexton. I got him right here in front of me. Let us know where he's running and where he started, and I'll give the fans some personal information on Gary Sexton. I think I have that.
Oh, sure. Right now, Gary's running in the 13th position. He started 11th, so he's just about where he started. Gary's been very conservative the first half of this race, so I think he's just being smart. He knows what he needs to do to carry on to the next round, and doesn't quite have the speed to get all the way to the front tonight. But I'm sure he'll park it with a good enough finish to move on and have at it at Kansas.
Yeah, thank you so much. Gary Sexton did start tonight off 4 positions above the cut line. If he can maintain a good finish, he will definitely transfer over. He is a very, very serious driver. He is part of the Cross Continent Racing group that is sponsoring the race tonight. We're very appreciative of that. But a little bit of factual information. Dominant driver profile on the number 17 of Gary Sexton. He is from Colorado Springs, Colorado. His team is Cross Continent Racing. His sponsors are, obviously, Cross Continent Racing, Paradigm Technology, HexCam, Seasons Pizza, Celestron Telescopes, and Overdrive Racing Karting. He's been in sim racing for 1 year. He is recently married. He has a wonderful son, Julian, who is probably coming up on 1 year of age, maybe 8, 9, 10 months of age. He would like to thank, special thanks to his fans, All Pro Broadcasting, Cross Continent Racing, Judd Danielson for helping him out. And I think Gary Sexton knows a thing or two about high-tech videos, marketing, commercials, all that kind of good stuff. He's a great driver. We love having him here. And hopefully he has a great finish. He's a big asset to what we're doing here at Domino's 2YJ Racing.
Absolutely, Gary's a wonderful driver, Superman. I'm taking a look right now at the battle going on between Colton Salick and Curtis Young. They've been going back and forth for the last 3 or 4 laps here. Some super tight action. Colton just got the better of Curtis right there, but as I say that, Curtis is getting a huge run off of turn 2 at him. So these guys will be going at it for quite a bit longer.
Yeah, both of those are another group, couple of great, talented drivers that fill our field here in the Domino's 2YJ Racing Series. A quick second Domino's driver profile on the 94 of Curtis Young. We talked about it a little bit already. He is one of our drivers from way up north in Shelburne, Ontario, Canada. His race team is Dive Bomb Motorsports. His main sponsor is Go Fast Energy Drink. Curtis is the kind of guy that will race you clean, but he'll race you hard. He is our reigning 2016 Dented Fender Truck champion. Had many wins last year. Actually, he's been promoted out of the Truck Series. He's one of the other very talented announcers that helps me out on Wednesday night. Fans, make sure you tune in for all of our truck races on Wednesday nights. Curtis has been in sim racing for 2 years. He's got 5 to 7 years of real world racing. Yes, fans, he does. Part of that is he does a lot of 4-cylinder figure 8 racing and small track racing up in Canada. He's got the 2016 Thrill Show Production Figure 8 Series second place. Same thing for 15 and 2014. He had a 3rd place finish in that race. I have seen YouTube video on board of Curtis in some of these races up in Canada, and it is exciting. It's harrowing. I'm not sure I would have the nerve to get in one of those cars with what they're doing, but he wants to give special thanks to some good friends, Eric Hawk, his father Randy Young, Gary Weston, and of course everybody at All Pro Broadcasting and Domino's 2YJ Racing.
Taking a look here now, Robert, at some of the action on track. Got a great battle right now going on between the 17 of Gary Sexton, the 02 of Mitchell Reeves. That's been going on a couple of laps here as Mitchell has to yield way to Gary coming off of turn 4 there. Actually gagging with 4 cars there right now, so some pretty interesting action going on in the middle of the pack here, right around 10th, 11th, 12th position.
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now as well, and it looks to me like as we are getting a little bit further into probably our longest green flag run, James, I'm not sure if you have one wet back green one on lap 86 to 87, but these tires are wearing on these cars. A lot of rubber is continuing to be put down on the track, especially in the corners. And I've seen most of these guys running 1 lane up, the middle groove. Some of them are actually now venturing up into that upper groove.
Yeah, well, I think they're venturing up there because they don't have enough grip to keep the car down anymore. We went green on lap 55, so we're about 33 coming on 34 laps into this run. So these tires are getting a little hot, a little greasy. And these guys are having to move up to try and increase the radius around the corner and keep her out of the walls.
Yeah, I just noticed the 02 Mitchell Reeves. He was running that low line trying to make a pass. I think he was trying to make the pass on that would be the 7, like you mentioned, of Will Davis. And it must have got tight. He had to get out of the throttle. He almost touched him, but he did the smart move. So these drivers are definitely having to use more of their skill and their talent to get these cars around. And I'm noticing these guys are having to back out of the throttle. I think the pace of the race has fallen off quite a bit right now. It looks like I don't have the leader right in front of me.
Leader's David Washington. He's doing laps in the 23.2 range right now. They started out their run on lap 55, 56 in the 22.3s. 21.8 was his fast lap, the second lap of the run. So they're off about a second and a half off their early pace on this run. So definitely tires are giving up a bit on them.
Yeah, and keep in mind he qualified, they did, at a 21.490. So they're running 23s now. They're absolutely slowing down some. And they're probably about ready to come in. They might not need fuel yet on this 1 mile high banked oval. But I think all these drivers are going to be crying to their crew chiefs for some new rubber, some new Goodyear Eagles as soon as they can. Of course, what's going to be exciting to see for all the fans and you, James, as we have 8 laps left before the free pizza pick. I'll tell you about in a second. It'll be exciting to see these guys have to make green flag pit stops, which will be coming up on in a short time. I'm going to find out about how far they can go in a tank of fuel. But one last time, fans, this is how you get your chance to win that free pizza. If you have not made your pick, if you tuned in late, this is how you do it. If you want to have a chance to win a large 3-topping Domino's pizza, carry out only. I forgot to mention that. It is carry out only. Any city in the country and in Canada where you have a Domino's store, all you have to do is be the first driver to correctly pick the winner of this race before lap 100. You got about 6.5 laps. Text 919-883-7497. Or if you're watching in the live chat, say, I choose this driver. The first fan that is accurate to pick that winner will win that pizza, and we'll give you all the updates after the interviews after the race. Thank you for participating. And what I was going to say, James, is if we have to have green flag pit stops, it's the number 7 of Will Davis just gets into the wall, and that's going to allow, looks like, the 81 of Shane Parrish to get around him. The 88 of Kyle Cameron gets a great run as well. So these guys are just barely scraping the wall from time to time coming off the corners, and that's a big indication the tires are wearing.
Oh, absolutely. Another big indication is the fall in the last couple of laps. The 55 of Ryan A. Hill was running third. He's now back to 5th. He's been bypassed by the 42 of Tanner Tallarico and the 03 of Dylan Jones. 2 guys we haven't heard very much from all day, but they're moving up right now.
Yeah, I just heard these drivers can go about 70 on the tank of fuel, and some of these drivers have got 10 or less laps in the tank right now. Actually, 17 laps left before they might have to make pit stops. So it's going to be real exciting because if you go on pit road here, James, and I mentioned this some of the races, you got to have a lot of things going for you to win one of these races in the Domino's 2IJ Racing Series. Of course, you've got a lot of wins. It looks like they got one car into the wall down on the apron. Looks like the 58 of William E. Moore. He's got some damage, looks like, on the left side, but he maintains. We stay under green. Looks like he's falling back to the 12th position. I'm pretty sure that woke him up if he wasn't already awake. Looks like he's going to take the opportunity to go ahead and come on down pit road and get those 4 fresh Goodyear tires. He's had enough, almost ruined his night, so he's going to get 2 full cans of Sunoco Racing fuel, I bet, as well as 4 Goodyear Eagles. But I was going to say, once these guys start making these green flag pit stops, the last thing you want is for a caution to come out, James, because that's going to put you on this track at least 1, maybe 2 laps down. So now that these green flag pit stops are starting, if you're William E. Moore in that number 58 Air Force machine, when you come back on track, you want it to stay green so that all the drivers have to make their pit stop. And he might have actually the benefit. This could be a blessing in disguise if he doesn't have much damage, to where he can get his fresh tires ahead of all these other guys, kind of short pitting as they call it, and he might even gain a few positions.
Yeah, well, I don't think he'll be gaining here. He got some pretty significant damage in that contact. I'm sure his speed's going to be off quite a bit after that. But yeah, here at Dover, I mean, very, very slow pit road speed. I believe it's 30 or 35 miles an hour here. So yeah, pit stop here under ideal conditions, you're falling 2 laps down. And if you have a miscue, it can even be 3. So yeah, I think you'll see these guys try and run as long as they can, run these fuel tanks dry if they can keep the thing out of the wall. Because like you say, a caution coming out, a guy missing pit road and spinning can trap you, 1, 2, even 3 laps down.
So that is part of the luck factor that you've got to have to win one of these races. You've got to have a lot of skill behind the wheel, which you usually get with a lot of practice. You can tell the guys who put in a lot of practice, they're usually running up front. You've also got to have great decisions by your crew chief and your spotter, making sure you're clear and having your strategy when you come down pit road to be, have all the benefits of those new tires. You've also got to be error-free on pit road. No speeding, no other penalties that you might get black flagged for or anything. You don't want to have to serve an additional penalty. But then, like I said to begin with, you've got to have that luck factor. And if you have all those working for you, you can win a race. But if you're missing one of those key components, James, you can easily lose a race, even if you're leading most of the race. Coming down to the end of the race, a mistake like that can really, really hurt you.
Oh, absolutely. And looking at these guys now, I just watched, just about 2 laps ago, I watched the 42 of Tanner Tallarico, the 03 of Dylan Jones, both overtake William Roberts, who was running in the second position. They've obviously figured something out here. I see them running up a little bit higher, and they are definitely making up time right now on the leader of Dave Washington.
And that poses a question. Are those guys trying to save a little bit of fuel to get inside a window? If they could go about 70 laps, they're still going to have to pit 2 more times for my calculations, because we, like you said, went back green around lap 55. So most of these drivers are going to have to make a pit stop for fuel, if nothing else. And I know they all want tires here in the next 10 laps or less. And according to that, they would have to come back down pit road. It looks like we have a taker on pit road as we speak. 3 takers. Looks like the 66 of Jack Watts is on pit road, as well as Nick Reynolds is coming down pit road to get his service. Looks like these are some of the first drivers other than 58 who might have come down, like you said earlier, because of the damage he had. Nick Reynolds is in his pit box. The right side tires are going up. He's taking 2 Goodyear Eagles on the right. Sunoco Racing Fuel, the left side's going up. He's getting the left brand new Goodyear Eagles and the second can of racing fuel. He is smoking those tires coming out of the pit box, but he's got to maintain that 35-mile-an-hour speed limit. Hopefully he didn't get a penalty. And then he's got to merge carefully on the apron coming up to speed, which has got a lot of rubber, sand on it. You got to be careful not to spin the car out. We've seen that happen before. So I think as the pit stops have started, we'll see most all these drivers down pit road in the next 3 or 4 laps.
Yeah, I don't know about next. Well, they're all getting close on fuel at this point, so they're getting to the point. I think they're running them as dry as they can. It looks like Curtis Young has also come down pit road, because I'm looking, he's quite a bit faster than some of the other cars out there right now. But these guys right now, pretty much everyone that pitted there is already 2 laps down. So they're hoping this stays green long enough that the rest of the teams will have to pit and everything cycles through. But a caution right now could be deadly for Curtis Young, Nick Reynolds, Josh Bonwell, Mitchell Reeves, Jason Cardwell, William Moore. These guys have all made their play, and they're hoping it works out in their favor.
Yeah, like you said, I'm thinking these guys were probably almost on fumes in their tank, because you're going to run it as far as you can. Looks like Jason Cardwell's coming back on the track, but like you just said, all these drivers that just pitted are about 2 laps down, so they are definitely hoping and banking for the leaders to have to make their pit stop here in the next few laps. Again, like you said, some of these drivers on brand new tires are quite a bit faster than the drivers on old tires. That's another dangerous opportunity for something to happen on the track that would cause contact. So hopefully we do get this green flag cycle of pit stops done, and we see who made advantages and who lost time. And right now, it looks like
right
we got
now your leader
ahead.
David Washington pulled in. He's on pit road now, and man, it looks like they crawl down there. It's so slow compared to the on-track speed. That'll put Tanner Tallarico up to the top spot, and he's just pitting now, so that moves Dylan Jones up to the top spot.
Yeah, all these guys are definitely going to try to get a bonus point for leading the lap. Looks like the 55 of Ryan A. Hill, also the 93 of Andrew W. Payne. They're both on pit road. Right side's going up, left side's going up. 2 cans of Sunoco Racing Fuel. The 55 is out of his pit box. Looks like it's going to be a drag race at 35 miles an hour to the end of pit road. Looks like the 93 beautiful pink of Andrew W. Payne maintains that position coming off pit road, at least for now. And we'll see how they do get back up to speed. Like I said, that apron is slick. The 93 got a little bit loose coming off. And these guys are following each other on the back stretches. They are going through the gears up to 150, 160, 170 miles an hour. And we've got a car down on the apron. Down in the grass, looks like it's Josh Bonwell. Not sure exactly what happened. If we pull up the replay real quick of Josh Bonwell, that number 56 Armroll, he is on pit road now with heavy smoke.
Oh, what an unfortunate break for Josh. He was running so well. Looking like pretty much everyone has pitted here. Starting to cycle through now. 24 of Eric Stanford has just inherited the lead. He hasn't pitted yet. But we're pretty much cycled through now. Some of the guys that pit a little earlier. Actually, Brandon Cruz-Monsiváis sounds like he's pitting again. But we've more or less cycled through from that round of pit stops.
Yeah, and that Josh Bontwell, he got into the outside wall, almost saved it. Heavy damage. I'm afraid if they don't get a new radiator in that car quick, he's going to be another one retired, having been bit by Miles the Monster here.
He's a hungry little fella, isn't he? Not only does he like rubber, he likes race cars too.
Yeah, so like you said, all the pit stops looks like they had been completed, and as we speak, that's going to put Eric Stanford, I'm not sure. Yeah, I guess he has pitted. He's still on the lead lap here. Dave Washington's going to cycle back into the second position, about 17 seconds behind. And I'm not sure if Eric pitted early.
Eric has not pitted. Looking at his lap times here, he's still stretching this out as long as possible.
I got you.
That's got to be his play here now. I'm showing David Washington sitting about 16 seconds behind him. He'll fall a lap and a half to 2 laps, so he's just out there hoping and praying to get a caution before he has to come down, and looks like he's entering pit road right now as we speak.
So we'll follow him down pit road. It will be a last of our lead lap cars on pit road, and like you said, he is driving at a snail's pace there at 35 miles an hour. I haven't heard of very many penalties on pit road so far, which is a good thing. But he is eager to get those 4 fresh Goodyear Eagle tires, 2 Kansas Sunoco Racing fuel. Looks like the 88 of Kyle Kammerer is also coming down pit road. Both of these drivers, actually Kyle, I'm afraid, is in 21st position, 4 laps down. He's still trying to get the best finish he can. But Eric Stanford, James, this looks like it's probably going to hurt him by staying out waiting for that caution that never did happen, because he was running much slower laps on those old tires. We'll see how it cycles out when he gets back on pit road as he's leaving pit road now. But that's probably going to put him a lap or 2 down just by staying out so long. What do you think?
Oh yeah, it certainly will. I mean, Eric was running a little deep in the pack to begin with, but yeah, I mean, you're giving up a solid 2 seconds a lap at the end of the run there, and that's real tough to make up. Looking at David Washington now, he's running laps in the low to mid 22s, and looking at Eric, his last lap were at the mid 24s, so he was giving up quite a bit of time on those last few laps.
Yes, it does look like right now, as I'm looking at the scoring monitor, Eric Stanford at number 24 is scored 1 lap down in 18th position. And I think he came into this race looking pretty good as far as the points go. He was up 21. Now he's running in 18th. We have had a few drivers with some major catastrophic issues, like the 3 of Mark Jackson. But I tell you what, Eric's not going to be able to afford to make that kind of mistake again and lose another lap or 2, or it might put him out of transferring.
Yeah, right now he's still sitting in pretty good shape, but like you said, you're right. He's going to have to stay kind of more or less hold serve here, whatever the leaders do, maintain his position as best he can. But yeah, if he finishes anywhere up in the top 20, 22, he's going to be fine just by the nature of his points position coming in.
And we do have some side-by-side battling right here. Looks like a few positions behind. Actually looks like Tanner Tallarico in that number 42. Fox Shocks just got around the 54 of Brandon Cruz-Monsiváis. Haven't talked about Brandon a whole lot so far tonight. It looks like Brandon started back in the 20th position. He has gained 1 spot up to 19th, but he has the first car 2 laps down. And James, unless we have a slew of cautions, it's going to be very hard for him to get both of those laps back.
Oh yeah, at this point, I mean, he's a lap back from 6 other cars that are 1 lap down right now. So that's a monumental task for him at this point. One of the things I'm noticing up in front of the pack, before the pit stops there, David Washington had a lead of approximately 3.5 seconds. He actually pitted early. Tanner Tallarico, Dylan Jones pitted a lap and 2 laps after him, but they both made up substantial time on him through that pit cycle. Tanner's sitting a second and a half back. Dylan Jones is sitting 1.8 seconds back. So these guys are definitely bringing the heat as this race gets deeper and deeper into it.
That makes you wonder, were those guys saving some of their equipment early in the race? Obviously, we're on lap 127, coming to 128 here. So we're going to have about 72 laps to go. And like I said before, these guys can go from what I understand around 70 on a tank of fuel. So they are all going to have to make one more pit stop. It is very exciting to see the strategy of this long green flag run. Kind of want to do give a couple more shouts outs and Domino's driver profiles to some guys that might not get a whole lot of attention while I'm pulling some names out of the hat. Tell us what you're seeing, as I do see the 03 of Dylan C. Jones making that pass around the 42 of Tanner Talrico to take over that second position, looks like.
Yeah, and this is Dylan. I don't know if he was just playing sly dog for most of the race. I've raced a lot with Dylan, and he's quite a good driver. He loves this place. So I think that was just a case of him saving his stuff in the beginning, waiting to make his moves. He did fall back substantially early on. So, but it's like they say, that the cream rises to the top. The guys you expect to perform normally do, and Dylan is doing just that.
And he just got around Buzz Moore in that number 11. Looks like to me he's got sports clips haircuts on that Toyota Camry tonight. Buzz does. He started in 15th. He's up to 14th. He is the first car one lap down. A quick Domino's driver profile on Buzz Moore. He's been part of what we're doing here at Domino's TYJ Racing on All Pro Broadcasting for quite a while. He is from Highland Springs, Virginia. His team is HS Speed. His main sponsors are Budweiser, KFC, B&E Small Engine Repair, and of course Sport Clips Haircuts. I think that's a new sponsor came on board here in the last month or so. He's got 21 years of real racing between 1996 and 97. He won the first 31 straight go-kart races he was involved in the Capital City Speedway. He's a 1997 Capital City of Ashland, Virginia Speedway champion at the age of 10. 1999, he got his first VDKA state race win. He also, in 2012, has got many senior championships and poles, as well as winning thousands of dollars in the go-karting industry, and has got a 2013 VDKA senior championship. More winnings after that. He would like to thank God, his wife, his family, and he has been a great addition to the Domino's TYJ Racing Series. We're happy to have him here.
Oh, absolutely. He's definitely a good driver. He's real good on those road courses. He brought a whole bunch of us to school at Watkins Glen last season. So, but yeah, he's talented on the road courses. He's talented here. He actually just got around Curtis Young for 6th position there just a lap or two ago. And looks like he's got eyes on Andrew Payne in 5th.
Absolutely. So these drivers are, I have to face it, and I have to admit it, I'm very impressed. We did have a couple of cautions there early, James. Fans, I know you want to see, not all you want to see, but a lot of times you like to see the cautions, you like to see bent, shredded metal. I tell you what, the car owners, the crew chiefs, the guys back at the shop that build these cars and put them together, that's the last thing they want to see. Some of them don't even want to see the guys do burnouts when they win the race for fear of tearing up the hard work these crew members have put in. But these drivers so far, since the first couple of cautions we did have, they are seriously putting on a great show, James. And I'll just leave it at that because I don't want to jinx anything. It's great to see him. And going through the top 10 real quick, just so we can bring you back up to date, fans. We do have David Washington at number 98. All Pro Broadcasting in the lead. He's got a 1.1 second over Dylan C. Jones in the 03, who I believe is going to give David a run for his money before this is all said and done. Running in 3rd, we have the 42 of Tanner Talrico. And 4th, we have William Roberts Jr. in the 12. Andrew W. Payne showed a lot of strength early. He's still running up there in the 5th position, that number 93. Ryan A. Hill, we talked about it a minute ago. Great road course driver. He's in that number 55, running in 6th. And 7th, we have Gary Sexton. His moved smartly up from the 11th position starting in that number 17, CCR Racing. Curtis Young is also having a good solid run. Started in 10th. He's up to 8th in the number 94. Go Fast Energy Drink. Nick Reynolds is up to the 9th position. He started 12th. He's in that number 10. And in 10th position, rounding out your top 10, another young driver, Colton Salek, in the number 99. He has fallen back from 8th to 10th, but he's still having a strong performance. 2 more cars that are still on the lead lap, fans. The number 7 of Will Davis is in 11th, started 22nd. Great run from him tonight. And Mitchell Reeves, who was right below that cutoff line when the race started, he has fallen back to 12th. He's got a point for leading the lap. He started 14th, but he is definitely trying to stay on the lead lap because that's where you're going to be able to make passes with strategy. And James, it looks to me like this is going to come down to strategy on this last pit stop that's going to be coming up here in probably about 30 more laps.
Yeah, I would expect them actually pitting about probably about 20 laps here, so probably right around the 160 to 165 mark as Mitchell Reeves just gets past to put a lap down. But yeah, in that 160 to 65 range, you'll see them, do a 35 to 40 lap run to close this out. So yeah, by my calculations, these guys were getting anywhere from 50 to as many as 60 for Eric Stanford laps out of that tank. But I think they all ran it pretty much dry. So yeah, that's when I would expect their next pit stops to come.
Absolutely. They probably overestimated when they were telling me around 70. Of course, that might have been under practice conditions, and now we're under race trim. And you're always on the wheel a little bit stronger. You're always pushing the car a little harder than you do in practice. Once you're in the heat of the competition, and you've got some of the fastest drivers in iRacing breathing down your neck, you're getting everything you can get out of the car without wrecking it, and you're obviously going to burn a little bit more fuel.
Absolutely. I'm watching our leaders here. I mean, now you've got a half a second between David Washington and Dylan Jones. They're actually up, and we've got a caution out.
Yes, fans, give us just a couple seconds as we pull up that replay. We see exactly what happened. Looks like it was the 73 was involved. It looks like he was running a little bit slower.
Well, what looks like what happened is we had a car up in the wall. Looked like the 18 of Jason Cardwell was up in the wall. Looks like the 88 and the 73 were checking up, and unfortunately, I don't think Curtis Young got the memo because he ran into the back of the 73, got him turned around. Unfortunate incident, but not much he could have done there. I don't think he could have seen what was going on around the other cars in front of him.
Yeah, that's exactly what looks like just happened. Yeah, Jason Cardwell got loose. We've seen this happen quite a few times tonight. James, he corrected it, got back into the outside wall, had it almost locked down. Quite a few cars saw that, got to the low. And this track is so fast and so banked, it's hard to see stuff around the corner. And so like you just said, the 17 got around, the 54 of Brandon Cruz Monsivice got around, the 88 had slowed down, that would be Kyle Kammer. And the 73 of Jeremy Crandall was really on the binders there. And the 94 just didn't realize what was going on ahead of time. And unfortunately got in the back of the 73, spun him around. 94 got a little bit of damage. Go ahead, James.
No, well, what this will do now is now we're sitting at just the end of lap 145, and these guys are all coming in for tires and fuel. This could be their last stop. Some of these guys did make it about 55 to 60 laps. Some of the guys pitted a little earlier, so a bit of strategy may come in here if we don't see another caution. This could actually be your last stop. I wouldn't be surprised to see one of these guys just come by and top off with one to go, just to make sure they have enough to make it to the end.
Yeah, well, we're going to take our final commercial break real quick, fans. We don't want you to miss anything as far as the live racing action. When we come back in just a minute, we're going to give you the update on what happened on pit road. You are watching the CCR 200 live on All Pro Broadcasting. Fans, we'll be back in just a minute.
To power slide, we salute you with the big blocks 4 wide. Race fans, it's showtime.
Smithley, driver the number 0, JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
When you're ready,
ServPro, how can we help?
help gets there faster. The cleanup specialists at 1-800-SERVPRO and ServPro.com. Helping make fire and water damage like it never even happened.
Hey, this is Garrett Smithley, driver the number 0, JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
All right.
Race fans, yeah, you didn't miss anything. Restart just happened. As we've seen time and time before, the 98 of Dave Washington jumps out to a healthy lead. What else are you saying there, James?
Well, I'm seeing right now, I'm looking at the 93 of Andrew Payne, looking under the 55 of Ryan Hill. His run will get stifled coming off of 4, and they are back single file.
Yeah, we're down to 150 laps in the books, 151. Got about 49 to go. James, it's going to be interesting to see which drivers that were holding back really step on the throttle now, and who's going to be able to get around the number 98 All Pro Broadcasting Aegis Motorsports of Dave Washington.
Yeah, well, I believe you're referring to the 03 of Dylan Jones when you say that. I mean, right now you've got the guys, the 3 guys who've been the class of the field for the second half of the race right up front. David Washington in 98, Dylan Jones in the 03, Tanner Tallarico in the 42, and the 12 of William Roberts is experiencing a resurgence. He's right on the tail of the 42. But these are the guys you're going to have to watch, I think, pretty much from here on out. I don't expect Dylan and Dave to do too much battling until it comes right down to it, being teammates and all, but you never know. I mean, they're men, they're behind the wheel, and that will to win does, it beats on.
Yes, sir. I just noticed. Looks like either the 99 or the 17 Colton Salick or Gary Sexton just grazed the wall coming off the corner. So obviously these guys are pushing these cars to their limit, as we do have now about 47 laps to go. Again, fans, you're watching the Cross Continent 200. Cross Continent. It's a group of drivers from across the continent that have pulled together to race, to put on a good show, to teach each other, to help each other out, and they are fighting against some other major teams. We've got Aegis Motorsports we talked about earlier. And in this race, James, give us a quick list of which drivers in this race are part of the Aegis Motorsports team.
Oh, you're looking at Dave Washington, Dylan Jones, Eric Stanford, Shane Parrish, Jason Cardwell has also been a member with us for a while, among the other guys in the other series.
Sounds good. Looks like we've got another car that had a little bit of issue. Jason Cardwell looks like he might be coming off of pit road after he had some damage there.
All right, and we've got contact on the front stretch. Let's see if we can get a replay pulled up of whatever went on there.
Hey, give us just a second, fans. Looks like the 73 of Jeremy Crandall, as he's coming around the corner, looking great in the middle of the corner. Coming off, it looks like the back end just snaps around on the 73. He hits the inside wall, locks it down in the middle of the track. 2 cars go by him with no contact. Very good move.
Whew, that was close. Holy cow. I just had a good look at that myself, and I'm sure there's 2 drivers there that might need to make an extra pit stop for some sanitary devices. That was scary.
Yes, those 2 cars, looks like it was the 81 of Shane Parrish in the ServPro on the inside, and Kyle Kammer in that Interstate Batteries number 88 on the outside. They split Jeremy Crandall And like you just said, they had a windshield full of smoke. Jeremy Crandall in the middle of the track, locked it down, kept it sitting still. And that was definitely, they streamed by him about 140 miles an hour. That would definitely almost make me have to get a change of garments myself.
Well, I tell you, it's interesting now. They had about 9 laps on those tires. We'll see if anybody decides they want to take a chance on some older tires. There's only 12 cars on the lead lap, so if I was running 11th or 12th, I might take a shot and stay out there and see if I could hold people off in front, at least get a little bit better track position for myself. And it looks like, as I say that, it looks like they are all coming down pit road. Well, they're all making liars out of me, Robert.
Yep, that's exactly what it looks like. The 7 of William Davis might have only got 2 tires. We're going to have to back this up and look and see what the other drivers might have done. Looks like a lot of these drivers might have got away with just 2 tires.
Yeah, at this point of the race, it'll be 40 laps to go when we come back green here. Track position is going to mean a whole lot here. So looking at how they sorted out here, I'm looking at, looks like David Washington will resume the lead here, followed by William Roberts, Tanner Tallarico, Ryan A. Hill, Andrew Payne, Branson Monsivice. Hey, I'm not seeing Dylan Jones anywhere. Wow, he's sitting back in the 11th position. Be interesting to see what happened to Dylan there on that stop.
Yeah, and I was mistaken. Looks like all these drivers did go ahead and get 4 brand new, fresh Goodyear Eagles, unless somebody up front might have snuck out with just 2.
Looks like they've all taken 4. Dylan Jones must have had some damage. His tires were done just as soon as the rest of them, but he stayed there sitting in his pit stall. So he might have some sheet metal damage to take care of. I'm sure he wants the car in as good a shape it could be for the end of the race here. But that hurts, losing that many positions this late in the race.
Yeah, going back green, we're going to have about 38, 39 laps. And it definitely looks like he lost quite a few positions.
Yeah, we'll give you a quick rundown before we go green here. You've got David Washington in the lead in the 98. William Roberts is in second in the 12. Tanner Tallarico in the 42 is third, and Ryan A. Hill in the 55 is fourth. You have Andrew Payne in fifth, Colton Selleck in 6th, William Davis in 7th, Gary Sexton in 8th, Mitchell Reeves in 9th, Curtis Young in 10th, Nick Reynolds in 11th, Dylan C. Jones now sitting in 12th, Buzzmore in 13th, and Jack Watts rounds out your lead lap drivers in 14th.
Thank you there, James. Looks like we had a few drivers get the wave around. The 66 of Jack Watts, the 24 of Eric Stanford in that Mobil 1, and also the 88. That would be Kyle Cameron got the wave around. I'm assuming that's going to put them back on the lead lap. You'll have to double check behind me.
Yeah, right now, no, I think, Brandon Monsivice and Eric Stanford are both 1 lap down. They won't be getting their lap back here, and Shane is, and Kyle are 3 and 5 laps down respectively, so they won't be getting back on the lead lap anytime soon.
Well, let's see if on this restart we can do another onboard camera view inside the cockpit. Let's go back this time to the number 03 of Dylan C. Jones. He is back there in, it looks like, 11th position after that lengthy pit stop. Thank you, fans. It looked like Dylan C. Jones was able to get around 2 cars there on that restart in a couple of laps. He got around Nick Reynolds, and he also got around Mitchell Reeves. And up front, Dave Washington is still controlling this race and the tempo, but he has got a mirror full of the second running position driver. That would be of William Roberts Jr., that number 12, Credit One Bank Chevy SS. Maybe William has been holding back this race earlier. We'll see if he can not only track down or keep up with Dave Washington, but figure out some way to get around him. It looks like he is right now looking at the groove right above the bottom of the racetrack, coming out of the corner, out of turn, looks like turn 2, going into turn 3 and 4. He is right in the tire tracks of Dave Washington. Maybe just a hair a little bit higher, but I don't see him gaining much of an advantage at all as we speak.
Yeah, and I know William, he's pretty aggressive. He's going to go for all he has now while the tires are still good. He's been a little slower on the longer runs than Dave, so if he's going to get it done now is his time. So this will be 110% effort from him right now.
And a little bit further back, the 42 of Tanner Talrico is in that 3rd position. He's got a mirror full of the number 55. Talked about Ryan A. Hill a couple of times in that Phantom Armament Chevrolet SS. He's trying to figure out a way to get around the 42 to take over that 3rd position. Behind him, we have Andrew W. Payne in that number 93. And he's got a line of cars behind him as well. Colton Salick in the 99. William Davis in the 7. He's getting a great run on the 99 as we speak. He's going to look low. Behind him, we have Gary Sexton. That would be the 17. So the 7-17 on the same team. And right behind them, there you go. We got Dylan C. Jones. He has made up a lot of headway. And these cars are running bumper to bumper. Somebody's going to do something to try to get around him.
Oh, absolutely. I just saw, it looked like Jason Cardwell might have bounced off the wall in front of some of the lead pack there. He's able to get the car down low towards the apron, no contact. But yeah, and I just hear it on the race communications. It was a bend over type situation and kiss something goodbye. It was another pucker situation for those boys, but they were able to all get through it okay, and we'll race on.
Yeah, these drivers are putting on an incredible show. They are showing their talent. For the most part, on car control, these cars are, I'm sure, a handful to race this late in the race. With all the rubber on the track, fans, you can see it in the corners. It is very, very dark, and you can see above that racing groove where it's still gray, there's not much rubber. And I'm not sure if anybody's going to venture up. There's the 03, it looks like right now. Dylan C. Jones is going to get around the 7.
Yeah, last few laps he's gotten around both the 17 and the 7. He's coming. Like I said, I'm sure he got some damage fixed on that thing, and Dylan's real good here. So yeah, if you want to watch some action, I keep an eye on him because I do expect him to come to the front.
Yep, it looks like William Roberts has lost a little bit of more ground behind the number 98. All Pro Broadcasting, Aegis Motorsports, Dave Washington. A little bit further back in the pack, we've got some other drivers that are trying to make some headway. Looks like the 03 has got a mirror full now, the 99 of Colton Salick. So he's trying to get around him. The 54 just grazes the wall. I think the 54 is down on speed a little bit. It's trying to keep it from being in the racing groove. He did a good job there of not causing any incidents or issues, except for a little bit of trading paint off of the right side of his 54 onto the wall here at the Monster Mile.
Yeah, Brandon's currently 2 laps down. Yeah, bit of misfortune for him a little earlier on here. He's doing the best he can to nurse it home. One of our better drivers here. So yeah, get her home, Brandon, and we'll catch you in Kansas. Give you a better shot there.
Absolutely, I think he's going to be okay. And it looks like the 55 we talked about earlier of Ryan A. Hill, how these cars can get a fender under. It's just happening behind him with the 99 of Colton Salick. Trying to get around the 93 of Andrew W. Payne. Looks like Andrew's actually going to let him get around him. Or not let him, but make it a little bit easier. And that would be the 03 that's getting around Andrew Payne. So Dylan C. Jones in that 03 is taking over looks like the 6th position. Now he's up to 5th or 6th.
Yeah, he's up 5th, so he's up from 12th on the start to 5th already. Like I said, he will be coming to the front, so keep an eye peeled out for that 03 pretty much all the way through these last few laps here. I think he might put on a pretty good show.
Yes, sir.
Looking out front, Dave Washington is stretched out to about a 6/10 of a second lead now over William Roberts. Tanner Tallarico sits 2 seconds behind the leader. And Ryan A. Hill sits about 2.2 seconds behind him currently.
Yes, and we have some heated action on the track between the 99 of Colton Salick and the 17 of Gary Sexton. These guys are trying to get everything out of their cars that they can, as they both went by a car in the upper lane. Looks like the 17 is going to be able to get back around the 99, but these guys are definitely fighting for this position for 8th and 9th.
Well, every position in the chase here matters, so these guys are going to fight tooth and nail for every point they can get here. Just taking a look at our people that were on the bubble here. One guy who may be in trouble is Jeremy Crandall in the 73. He was right on that cut line. He's running in 20th right now. I don't know if he's going to have enough to make it through to the next round. And we've got a yellow on the track.
Yes, fans, give us just a second to pull that replay up. Looks like it's between two of our top 5 drivers. The 55 of Ryan A. Hill trying to make that pass. He's been trying to get around the 42 of Tanner Tallarico for the longest.
Oh wow, he was making that pass on the outside. Tanner came off, and it looked like the rear of the car started to get away from him. He had to chase it up the racetrack. Ryan A. Hill just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. What a shame for two guys having a fantastic run tonight.
Yes, they're both spinning in on the inside of this track. They call this track a self-cleaning track because the cars typically will spin out and move down to the inside of the track, which is exactly what happened. Only a 2-car incident. Very unfortunate for both of them. I'll let you cover pit stops if anything's happening.
Sure, absolutely. Well, it looks like, at least right now, I've got top 5 cars in frame here, and they're all coming down pit road. I don't see anyone trying to take advantage of staying out on the racetrack at this point. Right now, we've got the 98, the 12, the 03, the 17, the 99, the 7 of William Davis. He looks like he took 2 tires. 02 of Mitchell Reeves, 10 of Nick Reynolds, 11 of Buzz Moore, all here on pit road.
Yeah, these guys were having to wait on cars to get on pit road. And it looks like the 42 of Tanner Tallarico's got heavy smoke coming out of the back of his car. I'm afraid he's going to be done.
He's got no front end on the car, Robert.
Yeah, it looks like the 55 has a little bit of damage, but he probably will be okay.
Well, I'm looking here, the 94 Curtis Young stayed out, and he's pitting now, which I kind of expected. But yeah, it looks like Curtis did stay out to gain that one more point he may need. He is on that cut line right now, literally directly on it. So that's a smart move by a crafty driver.
Yes, exactly. That might put him in the position. We're going to go back to green here with likely 12 laps to go, maybe 13. So if he can get a good jump on the restart, he might have a chance of holding off. Actually, I think I've got. You might have to clarify me on that. It looks like the 98.
Yeah, there's some interesting thing. I think Tanner Tallarico and Ryan Hill stayed out to come in. That actually put them in the lead, believe it or not, scored for that lap. So, but your first place driver here should be, when it all cycles out, should be that 98 of David Washington.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to be. He's going to re-inherit the lead after the pit stops, and these guys are going to have some brand new tires to see who can conquer the Monster Mile.
Tanner Tallarico pulls her down pit road now. He's going to need a considerable amount of repairs, most likely just to continue. That car is smoking pretty bad. So now with, I believe we're coming to 1 to go this time around. You've got your running order is the 98 of David Washington, the 12 of William Roberts, the 03 of Dylan Jones, the 17 of Gary Sexton, the 7 of William Davis, the 02 of Mitchell Reeves, and the 10 of Nick Reynolds right now look like make up your first 6 or 7 cars here.
I tell you what, fans, this time we are going to watch the race, and I'm going to let you call this.
I'm scared to call this. Restart with 15 laps to go at a high bank concrete oval like this is always interesting, but I can assure you that if there was ever a time during this race where these guys would give each other a little room, now's the time where you just got to dig down deep and give it everything you got. So hoping they make it through 1 and 2 and we get to see this thing finish out under green, but only time will tell.
Absolutely. We're going to watch this from our regular perspective. As the pace car is in, I'll let you take the restart.
Well, Dave Washington gets on the loud pedal first. He's out to a big advantage. Looks like William Roberts will settle into second. Gary Sexton in third. And you've got Dylan Jones and Mitchell Reeves side by side for fourth. Jones will clear him, as will William Davis coming off of turn 2.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the tires on that 02 Mitchell Reeves are a little bit older, but he definitely lost a couple of spots there, and he's getting all kind of heat now as they scream down the front stretch. Looks like that buzz
11
more.
a buzz more there, yeah.
Yes, sir. Up front, it still looks like Dave Washington. It's got a good run going, but the 12 don't look now. William Roberts Jr. is creeping back into the picture.
Well, and the guy I'm going to ask you all to look at again, I've said it a bunch of times, it must sound like a broken record at that point, but Dylan Jones in the 03 is sitting in 4th place. He was absolutely the fastest car on the track that last run, and now he's in a position to possibly get something done. Don't take your eyes off that 03.
Looks like he's got the inside position on the 17 as they cross the start-finish line. That big Gary Sexton gives him plenty of room. He knows that the 03 of Dylan C. Jones is just a little bit faster, and that's going to knock Gary Sexton back to the 5th position. But that's not going to be bad at all. It's still going to be a good finisher if he can maintain where he is.
Yeah, well, as you say that, he's actually running 4th. He's being challenged by his teammate, William Davis, for that 4th position as William rides in 5th.
Yes, and those two teammates, I doubt will make any kind of contact whatsoever. They are good friends on and off of the racetrack. I'm sure when it comes down to the last lap, if they can, they'll try to get around each other. But right now, they're doing exactly what you expect.
Yeah, real interesting there. We had Curtis Young and Jack Watts were battling out coming off the 4 for the, I believe, the 9th or 10th position there, and 8th position. And a little bit of contact and maybe some hard feelings. I'll be interested to get down towards the haulers at the end of this race, see if there's any conversation going on between those two.
Yeah, I'm looking at that replay right now. And this is tight race, what you'd expect with 10 to go. I'm looking to see what kind of contact, if any, was made there. And I don't see contact. I see really hard racing. Maybe just a hair of trading paint. Unfortunately, the 10 got into the wall, but he is able to maintain.
Yeah, one thing as we're coming to 7 to go right here, just wanted to mention this all night, but it is October. It is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so that's why you see pink on a bunch of these cars out here. Do like I do, save the Tatas. It's for a good cause.
Absolutely. Thank you so much there, James. And some of these drivers have got great paint jobs on them, some of these cars, and you will also see that for the rest of the month in our Dented Fender Truck Series, which you can catch next Wednesday night at 8:50 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have a very special event. It's going to be winners only. You do not want to miss that, fans. And then again next Thursday night, we'll be right back here in All Pro Broadcasting. We'll have the
Absolutely.
Xfinity cars at Kansas.
And now we're coming here to 5 laps to go this time by. You've got the 98, the 12, and the 3. The gap is closing among all of them. This could be some kind of battle here in the last 5 laps. And Dylan Jones bounces it off the wall off too. He's driving for all he's worth right now. The gap is now down to 0.3 of a second between first and second, and another 0.3 back to third. So gap is tightening. Does anybody have anything for that 98 of Dave Washington?
It's looking like he might have himself another win. And yes, the 10 engine just expired.
Oh, so close to the end too.
And back up front, David Washington does have almost a half a second lead. And like you said, creeping back into the picture, we've got the 03 of Dylan C. Jones. He is definitely making some headway on the 12 of William Roberts Jr. I don't think he's going to have enough time to get to the leader, however.
Yeah, we're at 2 laps to go. Will be white flag next time by. He will not make it up to Washington, but he could get second as he closes in on the bumper. William Roberts coming off too.
So as we're coming to the line here, some of the drivers have been surprising us. We got 1 or 2 more laps to go here, James.
This is it. White flag is in the air.
Well, we'll definitely follow that wonderful number 98, All-Pro Broadcasting, Aegis Motorsports, Dave Washington, as he comes down the backstretch. He's been coming through turns 3 and 4, looking for that checkered flag one more time, as Dylan C. Jones is looking to get under the 12. I don't think he's going to do it. It's going to be Dave Washington winning here at Dover. 2 wins in a row here in the Domino's TYJ Racing Top Shelf Cup Series.
Absolutely. What a drive by Dave Washington tonight. Clearly the dominant car all night. Great finish for William Roberts, finishing in the 2nd position. Dylan Jones with a great drive, coming back from some late race mishaps and some damage to finish in 3rd. Gary Sexton in year 17 finishes 4th. William Davis in the 7th will bring her home in the 5th position. And Mitchell Reeves in the 02 with the finish he needed to get to keep himself in the chase finishes 6th. Buzz Moore in the 11 finished 7th. Curtis Young in the 94 also needing a good finish finished 8th. Jack Watts in the 66 finished 9th. And Eric Stanford in your 24 finished 10th.
If you'll go ahead and take your time to go through the finishing order, I'll get these guys ready for interviews.
Yeah, sure. Eric rounded out your lead lap drivers. You had the 54 Brandy Cruz Monsivais. He brings her home in 11th. Shane Parrish brings his 81 car home in the 12th position. Tanner Tallarico in the 42. He finishes 3 laps down in the 13th position. Kyle Kammer, after some early damage, finishes 14th in the 88. Nick Reynolds in the 10th brings her home in 15th position tonight. And Jason Cardwell in the 18 finishes 16th. Ryan A. Hill in the 55 finished 17th. Andrew W. Payne in the 93, great run early in the night. Not so much fortune at the end. He comes home in 18th. Colton Salick in the 99 finishes 19th. And Josh Bomwell in the 56, he was your pole sitter. He comes home in 20th position tonight. Jeremy Crandall finishes 21st. William E. Moore in the 58 finishes 22nd. Tim B. Cox in the 19 finishes 23rd. The 014 of Jeff T. Martin finishes 24th. And rounding out our field is the 3 of Mark Jackson.
Thank you so much there, Curtis. Excuse me. Thank you so much, James. We got so many wonderful announcers that help us out here at Domino's TYJ Racing. I get their names confused sometimes, fans. I know you can appreciate and understand that and forgive me. It looks like now James has caught up with our 3rd place finisher, which would be Dylan C. Jones. I'll let you take it away.
Hey, Dylan Jones, this is James Ross up in the booth. Do you have a copy?
10-4, we do.
Oh, good. Well, a great 3rd place finish for you. It seems like you were coming from the back to the front all night tonight. Tell us a little about your race and how it went for you.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like in the car. We went to the back early for some strategy, stayed out of some wrecks. Actually, it was a pretty clean race, but we went back there. Then towards the end there, we had a little pit stop malfunction, and we lost a whole bunch of track position. But we were able to get it back, thankfully, at the end there, and had a chance, but just not enough there.
Yeah, well, we know our teammate Dave Washington finished up in the lead. If you could have avoided that late race pit road mishap, do you think you had anything for the 98 tonight?
Maybe on the short run. I doubted on the long run. He was pretty good there, but I don't know. Dave was pretty good here tonight, so it's a toss up there.
Absolutely. Well, listen, great run tonight. Who do you need to thank? Who gets it done for the 03 car?
Thank all the boys at Aegis Motorsports, everyone at Domino's TYJ here, and All Pro Broadcasting.
All right, great. Well, a great finish for you, Dylan, tonight. Go off and celebrate with your team, and we will catch you next week in Kansas.
10-4, thank you.
Thank you so much there, James. I have caught up with our second place finisher, William Roberts. William Roberts Jr. It's James and Robert up here in the broadcast booth. Congratulations. You had a great run there. You almost had what you needed to get around the 98. Tell us how your race went and if you could have done anything different to pull off the victory.
Oh, yeah, the race went pretty good. I mean, it was pretty much a win considering that I'm not very good at Dover, so second place is what I need in order to move on in the chase. And as far as Dave, I didn't have anything for him. I mean, first 5 laps, if I could manage to get beside him, maybe. But after that, he was pretty much gone whenever he wanted to be.
I appreciate it. You did an excellent job, and you definitely will be transferring over to the second round. Who would you like to thank for this wonderful second-place finish, William?
All Pro Broadcasting for broadcasting this, Domino's for sponsoring TYJ Domino's, you for running it, Robert, and my family for helping me out with this, and everybody for having fun.
Hey, I appreciate it, William. You're a class act. It's good to see you. We'll definitely talk to you next week. Have a great weekend.
10-4, you too.
And it's taken James just a little bit of time, but he's finally made his way down there to Victory Circle, and he's caught up with our winner, Dave Washington.
System.
Hey, Dave, this is James. How you doing, buddy?
Big James, what's up?
No, not much. So familiar place for you, parking her in Victory Lane tonight. Pretty dominant run all night tonight. What were your keys to success here tonight at the Monster Mile?
Listening to Andy and Jones talk to me all night. I can't say that I'm really great here because I'm not. I'm still learning this place, so it was a little bit of a challenge at the beginning because my car was really slow at the start of the run. It took like 7-8 laps for me to, get in the groove, and then after that, the car kind of came alive.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you put on a truly dominant performance tonight. I think other than the pit cycles and a few people staying out to lead a lap here or there, you pretty much led a majority of the race tonight. Who do you think out there might have been able to challenge you? I mean, it looked like William Roberts could stay with you kind of early in a run and then fall off. Dylan Jones was fast all night, just didn't seem to have the track position for you. But was there anybody that put a scare into you tonight?
Not really a scare. Going into any race against any of these guys, you never know what's going to happen. You can make a mistake, get loose up off the corner. But I was watching Josh tonight. He got the pole. He was hanging there. For majority of the run. I don't know what happened to him yet, but yeah, I hated he got messed up there. Roberts was looking good, like you said, at the beginning of the run. Jones, I don't know what he was doing. He was probably eating cookies and driving.
Well, at any rate, great finish, and I believe this is your, what is this? Well, it's 2 wins in a row. What is it, 7 on the season?
Well, actual legit win tonight. Last race was freebie with all the stuff that happened at the end there, but yeah, it's still a win. Just keep moving forward, having fun, and just keep helping these guys, and I'm enjoying it.
Absolutely. Well, we'll get ready to send you on your way to Kansas, let you celebrate with your team. But before we do, who do you need to thank for your run tonight?
Yeah, definitely a big shout out to D'Amico. Been on the car all season. Been up and down season for me, but we got it back in the right direction at the right time. All the guys at Aegis. As much practice. I can't say I practiced that much this week, but I practiced a little bit tonight before the race, and Julio for putting his team together. Robert for the league, all the drivers in it. You guys commentating tonight. Can't wait to go back and listen. Great league.
Absolutely. Well, enjoy your win, enjoy your night, and we'll let you go off and enjoy with your team. Robert, what are your thoughts on this race tonight?
James, from my viewpoint, this was a very exciting race. We saw almost everything you could look for, want to see in a race. We had long green flag runs. We had green flag pit stops. We had battles for the lead. We had a few different leaders. At the end of the day, we had some dented fenders, some hot tempers, and again, not to be surprised, James Washington ended up in victory circle. We're going to have the updated points out as soon as possible. But fans, we appreciate you being here. We do have a free pizza winner, Tom Hilliard from Charlotte, North Carolina. He was the one who picked Dave to win. So congratulations to him and his family. Again, fans, you do not want to miss our races next week. Wednesday, we're going to be having a very, very, very special event, 9 points only. You will be able to win that free pizza by tuning in. It's going to be in our trucks on Wednesday night, live on the iRacing portal, broadcast by our good friend Michael D'Amico with All Pro Broadcasting. Again, make sure you click the subscribe button. You don't want to miss this race. It's going to be winners only from 2017, and nobody gets any information about the race until race time. At 8 p.m. is when the track will open. And so these drivers are going to have to be smart to figure out how to get their truck into victory circle, because I'm going to give them a couple of, challenges that they're not used to seeing in our league. Nothing crazy, nothing unfair, but when they show up, they're going to have to put their brains to work as much as their feet and their hands on the steering wheel. So this was a great race, James. I appreciate you being here. So for Robert, myself, James Ross, Michael D'Amico with All Pro Broadcasting, we'll see you next Wednesday night, fans. Have a great weekend, and remember about breast cancer awareness, like James said. Do something great this weekend for your mother, your sister, your daughter, your grandmother, and we're definitely pulling for and praying for all those people who have been fighting, who are winning the fight, who have lost the fight, and their families. So y'all have a great weekend. We'll talk to you soon.
You're watching All Pro Broadcasting with Freedom Train.
Ladies and gentlemen, before they go fast and start to power slide, we salute you with the big blocks 4 wide.